There it is. 29 of the 32 coaches showed up for the photo. A lot of times Bill Belichick isn't there. He is. And I actually spent valuable time yesterday scanning that photo, making a list of all the names, and then coming up with the 3 that weren't there. All are pictured except Nick Sirianni, and I knew I was going to forget the other 2, Mike Vrabel, and Frank Reich. Those are the 3 who are not there.
Wow.
Those are the 3 who are not there. So today's draft is our favorite things about the annual coaches photo. Chris, have at it.
All right. Well, I don't know. This is probably wanted to be your first pick, but I can't. It's the thing that jumped out to me, too. Our Sky viewers are going to love this, right? But I don't know. Does Brian Daboll not look like he's the bouncer at some English pub in London or some Irish pub in London? I mean, what's he got working there? I mean, does he not look like that? You know, you brought up the thing on during the text last night. It almost looks like he has an ascot on too, which also would fit into that mold or whatever. But his look overall, and then the hands where they are, a little flexing of the pectoral muscle, right? I mean, if he's not the bouncer at an Irish pub or an English pub, you know, and then I don't know who is. But that is the first thing that jumped out to me.
I immediately thought when I saw that shadow, he was wearing an ascot. And I texted him, it looks like you're wearing an ascot, and I think you should go get an ascot. Would that not be something? Remember when Charles Woodson was on ESPN?
Yeah,
he would wear an ascot.
He wore it all the time.
Every
right,
time.
Right.
Yeah. I want to see Brian Daboll with an ascot. I mean, he could get away with it. You wear the blue, the outer, the quarter zip. That's Giants officially licensed gear because you know they have to wear that, and then do something under it with an ascot. Brian Daboll, I'm counting on you to do that.
He looks like he should be in Snatch with like Guy Ritchie or like
I think it's great.
Lock, Stock, or Two Smoking Barrels, like some English movie. That's where he looks like he should be in.
It was the first thing that popped to me when I saw that photo. Brian Daboll looks like a badass, and you know what? When you're the coach of the year, you're allowed to look like a badass. You already have the aura of badass around you. All right, a couple of the big feckers stood out to me, and even though we were with Kevin O'Connell in Indy, man, he seems huge in this photo, and he's standing next to Dan Campbell. I mean, he decided to pick the biggest, baddest guy around and stand right next to him. Now, we saw this tweet last night. He told Gabe Henderson of the Vikings official website, when he's next to a couple of guys rocked up like Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh, you take a step forward. You take a step forward, as he did. And you can see he's in front of both of them. I can't tell whether any of the guys standing are on their tiptoes, Rodney Harrison / Cristiano Ronaldo style, but O'Connell looks huge there. He looks huge.
Well, he's 6'5 plus, so he is a big damn guy. And I think that I don't know if he's taller than Dan Campbell, but I do think that little calculated move of stepping up makes him look just a little thicker and bigger than he should. So that was a smart move there. That was. I mean, Robert Saleh, who's a pretty jacked human being, looks skinny and like the shirt doesn't fit him next to him because he's sitting next to two guys who were, like you said, there's some big feckers, both of those. I mean, O'Connell's.
You know what Howie Roseman would say to Robert Saleh, don't you?
Get a tighter shirt.
You look like a guy who lost. You look like a guy who lost weight, and you're too cheap to buy clothes that fit.
Right, exactly right. Yeah, come on, you're the coach of the Jets. You're right next to New York City. You should be wearing some Gucci or Armani or something like that. Perfectly fit. All right. Well, I'm gonna. The next guy I'm gonna rag on Shanahan next. That's where I'm going next. Look at Shanahan. Shanahan it's like he wasn't ready for the picture in the top left. He's not smiling. I don't know. It's like he didn't realize they were going. I don't know if his eyes are open or not. It looks like he might
I think he just got back from Curaleaf.
Yeah, maybe. He's looking down at LaFleur and McVay. It looks like he's looking down at them like, well, why did they get a seat and why am I going to stand? I don't know. You know, didn't I teach them everything I know? I should be sitting and they should be standing. I got a kick out of that. Just Shanahan's pose, the look on his face, and the fact that he didn't look ready for the shot made me chuckle.
I think it's just the attitude of, I really don't want to do this. Why am I here?
Yeah, most likely that is exactly it.
So I can go back to Curaleaf. All right. Next one for me. And This is a very real question. This is one of the dangers of wearing shorts as a grown man who's going to be sitting next to other grown men, especially if the grown man sitting next to you also has shorts. There's a very high risk of accidental bare leg contact, and it's unavoidable. Bill Belichick and Andy Reid rocking the shorts and sitting right next to each other. How do you avoid that awkward moment when uncovered thigh touches uncovered thigh?
You're right. You're right. They're keeping their distance
balance
there. And, Andy's got his legs way too close together because he's like, man, I'm really jammed in here between Rivera and Bill Belichick. Neither one of them looks all that comfortable, like they're squeezing in there. So, you're right. They're the two only guys wearing shorts. Those sexy legs they got, they had to show them off.
We're going to take a break. Two more very important observations on some high-level football analysis from the coach's photo when PFT Live continues right after this. Look, when you have Patrick Mahomes, when you have the guy who was on track to be the greatest of all time, you don't need to pay attention to anybody else's quarterback depth chart. He's 10. He's Green Bay 10. He's not Jordan Love. I don't need to know anything about him. He's never going to play for me. He doesn't matter. I have Patrick Mahomes. All right, give me one more observation from the coaches.
Well, I mean, I talked about Daboll being the bouncer for the pub. I got to get to the owner of the pub or the owner of the club, McVay. Look at Sean McVay. Is he running some L.A. hot club here? The only guy wearing glasses, right, in the picture other than Daboll. But he looks like he's the club owner and Daboll's the bouncer outside. He's looking at cooling back, sitting in the sun, looking good. Yeah, that was pretty good. I like Sean McVay.
And Sean Payton sitting next to him, he's got the very wide legs there.
Whoa.
And I mean, it's almost like turf battles. It's like primal stuff, like Law of the Jungle. Who's real? You know what I mean? Who's the man? I'm the man. The other Sean. I'm the real Sean. Look at me. I'm the real Sean. I'm going to win another Super Bowl. The other Sean isn't. We're done. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Not from Arizona. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.